All right, what's up, Patriots? It's been a while. I've been kind of under the weather for a little bit, but it was a cold or a flu or something. I'm over it now. I'm feeling really good. The weather is just fantastic right now, so getting outside and doing some stuff. Fixing up the van a little, doing van work, always. Today is September 10th, 2024. It's Tuesday. This is day 1342 since Justice has left the building, apparently. Tonight's going to be Vigil 771 of consistent day in, day out, standing on the corner for the J6ers for justice in America. It is an absolute travesty that we have this problem in America, that we have political prisoners in America right now. It is something that just goes in one ear and out the other of most of the population. They really have no clue that this world right now is upside down compared to how it used to be. And it's by design. It's called the Cloward-Priven strategy. Oh, thanks, Deb. It's been a while. See, I forget how to do everything as soon as I stop doing it for a while. Thanks, Deb. All right, Troll Slayer, how are you, man? Beverly Asselson, hello. It's good to see you all here. Glad I'm still having an audience after a week away from all this stuff. But, man, I've been taking notes on the Vigil. There's been just so much going on at the Vigil. Right now, we're kind of in this limbo land where we're all just waiting to see what happens with this debate tonight. And I got to admit, who knows what is going to happen tonight? The suspense is killing me. We're expecting Kamala. I don't know. We're expecting her to fall on her face. It's obvious she's drinking a lot. There are telltale signs of people who drink to, deal with their stress levels. And I'm sure she's under a lot of stress. She's got a lot of people to please. And it isn't the American public. Hey, Kathy Richardson, how are you? Yeah, I can't get rid of you guys. What's up, Sonal? Good to see you, man. We were just watching Sean out on a corner in Chicagoland in Illinois. He was waving flags and yelling at people. It's really good to see Sean up in the action. He's been on the live streams a good bit now, which is really good. He's doing a feeding the homeless thing. We get a good chat going while he's out there doing that. It gets exciting once in a while. And then just to have a good chat, it seems to be on at a good period of time when the West Coast can jump in, because he runs late out there. He goes till 1 or 2 in the morning East Coast time, but it's only up to 10 or 11 o'clock out west. So it's hard to engage that West Coast Patriot crowd, because everything happens so early when you live out there. Football games are on at 6 o'clock and stuff. It's really weird. But yeah, like a lot of stuff's been happening at Freedom Corner. Out of the last week, what did we see, man? We had Thomas Robertson, I think about a week ago. Thomas Robertson had his resentencing held, where the 1512 charge was dropped. He was sentenced to 7 years and 2 or 3 months, and his new sentencing has been reduced to 6 years. So that's not the appropriate reduction in sentence. And the court wants to send a message. You stand up for your freedom of speech and get crushed by the government. That's basically the message that they're sending out to everybody throughout this whole J6 fiasco that's been playing out for the last 4 years out now. It's not a good thing, not a good place to be for the country. It has undermined faith in the justice system. throughout society, and that leaves the people in a predicament, you know. Back in the scriptures, it's interesting that this is, you know, it's all happened before. There's nothing new under the sun. The wisest man in the world, King Solomon, ever to be, said it long ago. There is nothing new under the sun. And when the Israelites were in this predicament, their original thing was that they had Moses, and then Moses couldn't handle it, and the people complained, and then Moses divvied up that responsibility to priests, which became judges. So there was a period of time where there were no kings in Israel. The judges determined everything. And then the people got uptight about that. And they said, give us a king, give us a king. And then Samuel picked King Saul, and you know how that went. And then finally they got King David. And God warned him. He said, your kings are going to, you know, enslave your sons and daughters. He's going to take your land. He's going to take your animals and your houses. He's going to take your vineyards, and he's going to hand all that stuff over to your buddies, to his buddies. And that's exactly what happened. I mean, God knows what's happening. And it seems like we're all just replaying it all again, man. Hi, Stu McCloy. Hi, Jane Febo. Good to see you all here. Thanks for dropping in. Hi, Lisa McNeely. It's good to see you. Thomas had his sentence reduced to 6 years, which is ridiculous. I think it was like a slew of misdemeanors, and to be serving that much time on like low level, pretty much civil disobedience charges is ridiculous. But he was an upstanding man. I think he was a police officer or something. I mean, he was an upstanding man in his world before J6 happened, which is probably why he stood up on J6. And they sent an extra special message to ex-police officers, ex-military people that got all bound up in the riots that happened at the Capitol there. And they got played, man. The government played us for sure. Now all that information is playing out, and there's 20 documentaries about this out there. And basically, if you can't see through what's happening right now, words can't describe the ignorance that you're showing by not having a clue about anything. I know I'm not speaking to my chat here. We know what's going on, and we've known it for a long time, and that's why we're here. But man, it gets old just explaining things to people that, you know, have no idea of what's going on and don't lift a finger to do anything about anything. Most Christians, the voting percentage of Christians is abysmal, and there is no excuse for that. And I know they use the excuse, well, I don't like either of them, so I'll let God handle it. Well, in the scriptures, it tells you got to get involved. You got to make your village a better place to live. It doesn't happen by doing nothing. In fact, by doing nothing when the presence of evil is wickedness in God's mind. So yeah, there's that. Thomas. All right, Thomas. Now I got so many pages of notes here. Thomas Robertson. And that was Judge Christopher Cooper that handed that brilliant decision down from the bench. Let's see. We also lost one of our J6ers. He got shipped out of the Gulag. One of our favorites, Sean Dennison, got moved out of the Gulag now, which is bizarre. Sean Dennison got sentenced to 30 days in jail. Now, normally that's a jail sentence that you would serve at a local county jail. He was in the local county jail in the jurisdiction where he got charged, yet they shipped him out anyways. So we're certain that is in retaliation for him communicating with us at the vigil and having such a good time with it. Sean would sing songs and make fun of Kamala. He had that song, Kamala, the communist. And, he made a mockery of these tyrants. and now they're retaliating against him. No doubt he's getting the diesel therapy treatment, and then all this stuff was just brought forward in a hearing from Marjorie Taylor Greene yesterday that a lot of our Freedom Corner patriots attended, and I haven't got down to watch the whole thing. I was able to listen to it while I was working, but I didn't get to see the whole thing yet. And it's like a 2 hour, almost a 3 hour broadcast. That's on Marjorie Taylor Greene's YouTube channel if you want to watch that. And they were bringing up, it was called Cruel and Unusual Punishment hearing, and it went all over the mistreatments of the J6ers, from diesel therapy to solitary confinement to inedible food to beatings to mental and physical tortures to re-education. These guys were not given access to Bibles. They only were given Qurans. And it was unbelievable. They were denied to have religious classes while they were in there for the longest time. Yet, from what we heard from the J6ers, you could hear the Muslims praying down at the other cell block. So this is all mental, psychological torture for people. And it's not a newsflash, but most people just turn their brains off when you tell them about it. And, well, they shouldn't be in jail in the first place. That jail isn't fun. And that's so lame. That is so lame and weak. And it's a sad testament to where most of the people in our country are at mentally. And good times make weak men. That is for sure. We're seeing it played out right now in all of that. There was another fiasco that happened with regarding Jeremy Brown. Jeremy Brown was a whistleblower. The FBI tried to recruit him to be a narc and infiltrate right-wing groups and be an informant for them. He recorded it, released it, blew the whistle on him, and then he got rounded up. He's been in jail down in Florida for at least 2 years, and he's facing new charges up here in D.C., and so they shipped him up. He was supposed to have a hearing on a Monday or something. Well, that Monday came and went. Well, first they shipped him here and didn't put him in the pod. So he's in some dungeon somewhere under the courthouse or in solitary confinement at CTF. We don't know where he is, actually. And he has no access to a pad. So in order to prepare for your trial, you got to have access to information. You got to be getting your wits together, your notes together on how you're going to present your case. And he had one attorney that got sick on the day of the hearing. So the hearing got delayed till the next week. And the next day that hearing came up was, I'm thinking it was Monday. It was either this last Monday or last Friday. And the other attorney that he had decided he wasn't going to represent Jeremy Brown anymore at the last minute, which left Jeremy Brown hanging. Okay, so Jeremy's girlfriend and I think some other people came all the way up to go to his hearings or his trials, and it never happened. It never happened. So we're trying to get Jeremy Brown into the Patriot Pod there. What's the Patriot Pod's number? Because he's not there with the other guys right now, and they're doing this. They're not letting the new arrests go into the pod with the other J6ers right now. And then what else, man? He can't. I mean, they're just totally messing with Jeremy Brown right now. His new trial is scheduled for December 10th. He has a pretrial hearing, and then December 17th is when his new trial will initiate. So in the meantime, he's going to be in the gulag. Most of the guys that are being held in the gulag are in a pod by themselves because of a reason. Thanks, Jane. C3B, the C3B pod. We have to start referring to it as that because I'll get into that here shortly. The C3B pod. I knew I wrote that down in 5 different places. Oh, here it is, C3B. So Jeremy's going to be hanging in the DC gulag until December 10th, at least. They're not going to, or maybe, I don't know, maybe they'll like inflict more diesel therapy on him, ship him to Oklahoma or Philadelphia or something for a while. Probably won't allow him to have access to a pad. He has no private communications with attorneys anymore. I'm thinking he has to find a new attorney now. I don't know if the one guy got better and that he's going to be his attorney or what. So I'm confused on the attorney thing, but they're totally messing with the dude. And this is our government. This is the government that we as Americans are supposed to be proud of. And this is what they're doing to people who love their country, who love God and their families. And they're being treated as terrorists. That's why they're in C3B pod, for their own protection. Because according to the people that have incarcerated them, they're terrorists, right? And you don't mingle gangs in a prison. So it's dangerous if you put opposing gang members in the same cell pod together. You're guaranteed to get violence. So this is a scare tactic. I'm sure that they're making all the new J6ers that are coming in there think about. They're not in the safety of a pod. They tried to eliminate that pod because they were in a category called involuntary protection, where they were just put into the C3B pod involuntarily. And then about a month ago, they came in and they tried to say, you guys have to sign a paper now so that you're in a voluntary protection pod, which is also the category that child rapists are in and murderers are in. You know, people that go into the general population that might have enemies in there, don't want to kill them. So right now, it's not looking good for that. Hiya, Ridgeline. Oh, we got a Karen troll. No, that's okay, Karen. I'll worry about myself. You be you, I'll be me. Thanks, Karen. They all, they want to run your life. They want to tell you what to do. You have no idea what you're talking about either. Hey, Ridgeline, Allie Waters, good to see you. Let's see how we got some more folks jumping in here. Jane Febo, hiya. Cindy, we've been praying for you. We hope you're doing all right there. We heard you clunked your head. We know you got a hard head though, so we're hoping you're okay, Cindy. We got word that it wasn't a major ordeal, but it's not fun at all what you just went through there, Cindy. God bless you, and we are praying for you. Cindy, you got to have a hard head to be out there at Freedom Corner as much as you are out there. We hope to see you out there again, and we hope everything's okay. So yeah, man, totally messing with these guys, and this is our justice system. This is supposed to be the pinnacle of law and order in the world, and this is what they do to people here in DC, central, the most governed area of the planet, and they got political prisoners, hundreds of them in prison right now, man. Yeah, do whatever you want with Flagger there. He's, have fun with him. Have fun with him. They're all morons. Okay, and then that hearing was That hearing was Monday. The MTG hearing, which is a great hearing to see. Brandy Burlew, Benjamin Burlew's wife, testified at it. Trennis Evans testified at it. These are all prominent J6 celebrities that had a lot to say. Cara Castronova, she used to write for the Gateway Pundit. Met her many times. She covers the courthouse there in D.C. Excellent reporter, journalist. And the hearing is called Unusually Cruel. Marjorie Taylor Greene hosted it. There was a few other representatives in there with her. Our Freedom Corner crew was there. Rebecca was there. We had, who else was in there, man? I can't remember right now. There was a slew of them in there. A slew of them, man. Nicole was in there for sure. And God bless you, Patriots, going through that. Nicole has been holding down the corner pretty much by herself. She's getting a lot of help from everybody else down there. But hats off to Nicole for the last 3 or 4 weeks now, holding it down herself, running a stream, running the tunes, running the phone calls, going to courthouse hearings and trials, going to these hearings with the congressional people, man. What a whirlwind of activity you are, Nicole. My hats are off to you. And we hope you get a break here soon. I do know that you're heading down to Texas for the Stop Hate movie premiere. So good luck on that travel. I'm not sure what day you're leaving. It is coming up soon. I think it's this weekend. And I hope you get a little time away for, just get out of town for a while. I got to tell you, man, it is so good to not be in D.C. anymore. But it's it's a little heart wrenching because I'm not with my Freedom family down there anymore, and but it is such a relief to not be down there. It is this cloud over your soul while you're down there. So definitely keep praying for the Patriots that are in the gulag. All the J6ers for sure. They're all under this cloud, and the Freedom Corner Warriors doing the visitations on Mondays and Fridays, and just putting out the effort that it takes to keep Freedom Corner going and to be of benefit, to keep the commissaries coming in, to make sure the books are delivered. We got Patriots that have sent these guys in their books last March, and they've gotten notes that the books have been delivered to the prison, like in April. And these guys are saying they haven't gotten their books. They haven't gotten their mail for weeks. And all of this takes a slew of organization and phone calls from us just to, get normal human consideration attended to for people who are, in prison before they're even found guilty of anything. And which is another crime that, according to the Constitution, man, you're entitled to a speedy trial. I do believe it's supposed to be 45 days. But they trick you into these delays and all this stuff. It's all done in a legal way. But we got guys in there. Jake Lang's the premier. He still hasn't had a trial. And it's been almost 4 years now for Jake Lang. All right, so a couple of the things that happened throughout the phone calls here. We got one Patriot, Jay Jones, man. He's been a whirlwind of activity on the Guy Reffitt Texas jail issue that's been going on the last couple of weeks now. Nicole's husband, Guy Reffitt, who technically should be out of jail because the only thing he's serving time for right now is the 1512 charge that they gave him. Found himself in a little county jail for some reason. More diesel therapy, I'm sure. More mental, psychological, and physical torture. That was just atrocious. The conditions in this county jail, less than 100 people in this jail, was absolutely inhumane. And we did phone calls and we just made as much noise as we could Jay Jones, man, he did so much digging on this, getting information, finding out who's in charge of the prison, who owns the prison, who sets the regulations for the prisons. When is the contract for the prisons coming up? All right, so that's a deadline coming up. September 30th, the new contract for that prison is going to be signed for a 5-year term. And so there's a lot of like us rising up 2 months before that date. I think was God's timing on this. It seems like there was some big secret powwow meeting they had down there about, hey, we're getting thousands of phone calls all of a sudden because of this one guy Reppert. And then they came out and said, all right, you guys can't just call and complain. When you call and complain, you got to have a specific grievance that a specific inmate filed already. So we're trying to coordinate what exactly the grievances are, when, how they're filed as part of grievances. You can't just write one grievance that covers 18 different topics. You got to write probably 18 different grievances so that they can be addressed by the government in a bureaucratic manner. So we're coordinating efforts with the prisoners, and then it played the same thing on us at DC since then too, where we have to have a specific grievance that we're calling in about. Like specifically, we got to say Dominic Box hasn't received books that were technically received by the prison in April, okay? And then we got to make sure that Dominic has filed a grievance about that, and then we call the warden and say, Dominic Box filed a grievance. His books haven't arrived. Have you done anything about that? You know, and then we can make phone calls reiterating that and asking if there is any movement or decisions or action taken on these grievances that the guys filed. So they made it a little bit harder for us, but we'll deal with it. We'll do it. I mean, for crying out loud, we had to make a phone call rally just to get them to mow the grass last year. You remember that? I mean, some of these things, just to get them to turn the freaking heat on when it got cold last winter. It's things like that that are just unbelievable, man. So Marjorie Taylor Greene's hearing, apparently, afterwards, two of the people that were holding the hearing went down to the gulag to make an inspection. And I'm waiting to hear what the results of that were. There was also an inspection that was scheduled for the jail to have by some entity that oversees the prisons. DC Gulag is also a privately owned prison that contracts its services out to the District of Columbia. So there is a board or an agency that sets the standards for how you got to run the jail. They were going to make an inspection. They gave all the J6ers cans of paint, blue and yellow paint they were given, and that gives the guys something to do, I'm sure. They like making their place look good. They clean up after themselves there. They're wonderful inmates, I'm sure. They don't raise a whole lot of problems compared to other inmates. So they're painting up the jail. There's inspections being made. So we just got to keep applying pressure. I think there is a temporary warden in place now, from what I've been hearing in the gulag there. So I'll try to find out more about this. One other special thing that happened, Thomas Robertson got on the phone the one day after his sentencing and just had a very emotional call to us, just thanking us up and down for attending his trial. He said there was people there when he looked around to the gallery where the spectators sit at a trial. His heart was moved by the amount of people that were there praying for him while that trial was going on. And he said he didn't know who this person was, but he saw a small Asian lady that every time he turned around, she was looking right at him. She was praying, with her hands clasped in prayer. She was making a heart sign to him subtly. And that woman was Lily from the corner. And it moved him practically to tears, man. That the Freedom Corner Patriots were backing him up like that. So this support that we're given is so important to these guys. And it goes down to the letters, to the commissary we're giving them, to the help that we're giving their families, and even letters to their families. There's a way to write letters to their families and stuff and give support to them. And that has all been organized through Mickey Woodhoff, Nicole Reffett, Tammy Jackson, and from that, it spawned all this other help, that this whole network, this whole Patriot family that we're all involved with right now, has started up 771 days ago. So, and we don't see the end of the tunnel, okay? We don't know what we're doing on a long-term plan. The long-term plan is get them out of prison, right? Get this whole thing behind us. But we're walking day to day on the path that God gives us every single day. Dominic Box was the guy who made us aware that they shipped Sean Dennison out. And Sean Dennison was the one that sang for us every time he called. He kind of organized a little choir of the guys that would come together and back him up on the Camel of the Communist thing. And then when Sean wasn't there, Dominic sang us a song, man. That was so cool. That was so cool, man. He sang a tune called Thursday, the worst day of the week. That was hilarious, man. Some of the phone calls also are the inmates trying to get information on what's happening in the outside world. Like since in the last week, this school shooting happened in Georgia. And the guys aren't like receiving just basic information, news. It isn't the total propaganda that you get off the regular TV stations. So they're scooping for news, finding out what's going on outside the walls of their prison there, man. Gotten calls from Daniel Ball, who is just an unbelievable positive attitude about everything, man. And he's just talking about the Trump pardons coming and the cop prosecutions coming, man. I mean, like we say, the light at the end of the tunnel isn't just getting these guys out of jail. It's making sure the tyrants and the criminals that made J6 happen are prosecuted and jailed and punished appropriately. Not every single cop at that place. A lot of them cops are walking around going, what's going on? Why are we getting gassed out by our own guys here? What we got set up. I mean, there's many videos of that out there, but there are ones that were in on the game. They knew what was going on, and they were performing criminal acts in order to facilitate that riot to happen. It was definitely instigated. And then we got people like Michael Byrd, who I hope is quaking in his boots right now, looking at Trump dominating in the polls right now. Trump is just the spread between Trump and Kamala is just spreading every single day. And I hope people like Lila Morris and Michael Byrd are watching this happen, and you know what's happening to you, Michael Byrd. You know, Lila Morris, what's happening to you. And what's that goofy chief of police, Yolanda, what's her name, Pittman? I hope you're watching this, Yolanda, because you got promotions out of what you did on J6, but now you're going to get jail time. Because that is justice. You committed crimes on that day, you will be charged. And that is the uplifting message from people like Daniel Ball and myself. I will gladly shout that from the rooftops, Michael Byrd. You're going down, buddy. And I don't even got to lift a finger to make it happen. We did have one silver lining that, like, the one day Dominic Box was complaining about books. He said 10 minutes after he hung the phone up, one of the COs, the officers, came up and said, "Hey, man, I got a book for you here." So, but then I found out in the chat, like other people, there's another person in the chat, I think, I'm not sure who it was, said that they sent 2 books, and, you know, that he didn't get those books yet. These guys are voracious readers. And when you're in jail, you got a lot of time, and having books is the perfect escape. It's the perfect beneficial thing to be doing, too. Because when you read a book, it ain't like watching a movie. You turn the tube off and you forget what you just watched. When you read a book, it's getting into your brain, and you're learning things while you're reading. Why not improve yourself while you're in there? And that's what every single one of these guys is doing. I can't wait to see how many legal experts are spawned out of this whole thing. We got like Stuart Rhodes and Guy Reffitt. These guys are legal experts at this point, man. And then every single night, like clockwork, we got Jonathan Pollock and Joseph Hutchinson calling us, singing that national anthem, proud, loud and proud, every night at 9 o'clock in the gulag. And then every night they got a Bible verse, words of inspiration, quotes from our founding fathers, and just messages of hope and rejoicing in our God, in how much our Father in heaven takes care of us in our tribulations, man. Jonathan's father is at the corner now. He came down for that hearing. Mr. Pollock, he was there at the Marjorie Taylor Greene hearing. Got to visit with Olivia, his daughter, and Olivia called out to the corner then, and it was really special to see Mr. Pollock and his daughter talking on that phone outside on Freedom Corner last night. That was really special, man. And just the inspiring words out of these guys is a big help to us out here. We're not in prison there, but we're still walking around out here with these wicked people. The wicked people are the zombies, that just don't do a thing about anything. And then we got these morons that harass us while we're trying to save law and order and justice. I mean, it's a crazy world, man, but it ain't a newsflash. This was prophesied. It's happening right in front of our faces, and it's kind of an interesting thing to be alive, man. Blessed are those that have not seen yet believe. That's us right now. Okay, so that's most of the more recent Freedom Corners that has happened. We're trying to organize the better calls to action, basically. So right now there is a call to action. Call your senators, call your representatives, and tell them to get on board with the Marjorie Taylor Greene cruel and unusual punishment hearing that she just had. A lot of information just came out in that. And for your representative to be ignorant on a lot of the facts that were just testified to in that hearing is unacceptable. So just, make them aware that there was a hearing. A lot of good information came out. It's shocking what these guys are going through in United States jails and what our justice system is doing to them, from the judges all the way down to the correction officers that are turning the key in their doors in the morning. It's shocking, it's outrageous, it's un-American, and it needs to be stopped. So we got to make our representatives known about that. We got to be the squeaky wheel that gets the grease. They can't read our minds. We have to let them be aware of what's happening, and just, make a phone call, send emails, make noise so that they can hear you. Be nice. These guys probably get yelled at all the time by people, so try to be the sugar that helps the medicine go down a little better, maybe. I don't know. We're learning our skill here at the same time and how to affect change through our government. And then another call to action to our representatives pertaining to the SAVE Act, which is a ridiculous, redundant act that Congress has to pass now because certain states have enabled it that illegal people don't have to prove citizenship in order to register to vote. Every state runs their own elections, and we want to avoid putting the federal government in charge of elections, because then you centralize the power of elections. It's way better to have 50 different states that set up 50 different election systems that send 50 different electors to Congress to vote to elect our representatives, okay? We don't want the federal government running elections for that reason. But it's become apparent that certain states are allowing illegal aliens to get registrations to vote. So the SAVE Act is a congressional act that says in order for a state to legally run an election in their state, they have to show proof of citizenship to get registered to vote. Okay? Yeah, we have to. Barbara, I don't think it necessarily means you have to show ID when you vote. It just means that in order to register to vote, you have to prove that you're a citizen of America, that you're not here illegally, basically. That's my understanding of it. And that seems to be a good, federal guideline. And it seems redundant, but certain states have just abused that system, and we're electing really bad people like Pelosi, and Mitch McConnell and Lindsey Graham. I mean, two of them are Republicans, and they've been doing this to us for a long time. It just seemed to me uncanny 30 years ago that every single election we have is 51% to 49% every single time. And I don't believe it is really that way, but it is how they fool us into perceiving that our votes matter, when actually the votes have been rigged for a long, long time. We're watching this new election we're scrutinizing it. They are not going to get away with the same tactics that they got away with last time. If they try to pull them, we got people in place to watch it. We have checks and balances now in effect. It isn't 100% ironclad, though, but we do have legal cases initiated prior to the election, so that when there is fraud exposed through the results of that election, like when you saw that graph for Joe Biden just jump straight up in the air, all of a sudden he got 300. They counted 300,000 votes, and every single one of them was for FJB. That was thrown out of courts in 2020 because of lack of standing, because there wasn't an initiated lawsuit pertaining to that prior to that election. Well, now there are. And when that happens this time, there's going to be a court hearing. They're not going to be able to throw that out of court. But Joe Biden just got 230 new federal judges on their seats, man. So it's going to take years to flush out these horrible political judges from their seats, man. And we got to figure out how our government works. It's very complicated how it works. Some judges, your local judges, you elect, whereas the federal judges are appointed, and then our representatives elect them. So it is like a little democracy with our representatives. Joe Biden says, I want Kamala to be a Supreme Court justice, right? Say. And then our representatives, it is a democracy amongst themselves to vote, and the majority allows that person to get seated. That's what happened with Ketanji. There just weren't enough people to vote against her. I mean, she says, she couldn't define what a woman was, but there weren't enough people to vote against her. So she got seated on the Supreme Court. That's a lifetime appointment, man. So it was the hand of God that Trump was enabled to seat 3 justices in his short 4-year term that he had. But we gotta learn how our government operates, act wisely, act with maturity, and we'll get through this. We will get through this. It took 60 years of laziness to get to where we are now. And then the J6ers are also asking lots of questions about what's up with RFK joining the race. Is Tulsi Gabbard in now? Elon Musk, is he in? What's this new government efficiency, Department of Government Efficiency thing, and with Elon and all that? So they're always scooping for information outside the walls. because all they get is CNN and MSNBC and Fox. And I hope everyone's realizing about Fox now, you know. For the longest time, everyone was like, well, yeah, but I watch Fox, so I get the real news. You're not. You're not. It's still propaganda, controlled propaganda. Oh, one little cool thing, ending on the J6 stuff here. As Jeremy Brown was leaving the courtroom, his second lawyer withdrew, okay? As he was leaving, he said, de oppresso liber, which means free the oppressed, as he walked out of that courtroom. Jeremy Brown is a Green Beret. He served his country, unbelievable. He is in the middle of an entire frame-up. They planted hand grenades, secret documents in his house. He had 14 or 17 cameras in his house. They removed him from the house. They turned off all his cameras and then searched his house and said, oh, we found hand grenades. And we found this information that he had access to 14 years ago out in the desert. And then all this stuff was analyzed, and his fingerprints weren't on any of it. His dog's hair wasn't on any of it. There were other people's fingerprints on it. This thing he supposedly smuggled from the desert 14 or however many years ago didn't have a grain of sand from the desert on it. It was a total frame-up job, and he is getting framed up. And this just cannot happen. This cannot happen. The only reason it's happening is to the laziness of our representatives right now. This could all end tomorrow if our representatives grew a backbone and started representing us. They are in charge of the court in D.C. We, the people, don't elect those people. We have nothing to do with the operation of that court in D.C. other than being jurors. If you're a voter in the D.C. area, you can be on the jury in that court. But other than that, you and I have no jurisdiction over that court. But our representatives do. And they have done nothing to hold these judges accountable for all the atrocities, all the misdeeds, misprocedures that they have performed in that court. Withholding evidence, denying evidence being presented, altered evidence allowed to be presented. It's just atrocious that it could end tomorrow. So that's why we got to get loud and squeaky with our representatives about that court in D.C. The SAVE Act was not passed, no. Or it was passed, but they got to get it into they're holding up the budget. It's being voted on right now, like this week, like tomorrow, Wednesday. And I don't quite understand it, S-Race. They did vote on it. 198 Democrats voted against it, saying that it was a redundant law. We don't need to make it's already illegal to do that, but many of the states do it anyways and with no repercussions. So, I mean, it's a Cloward Piven strategy to secure our elections here, you know. The Democrats won't vote for the SAVE Act because they claim it's already illegal to register illegal aliens to vote in this country. Yet, there's a million of them on the records already. We just found out tens of thousands of them already on the ballots here in Pennsylvania. Here in Pennsylvania, you even got to give ID to vote, or you don't have to give ID to vote. But somehow or another, illegal aliens are getting voter registrations here. So everybody wants a secure election, Republicans and Democrats. Our country doesn't run without a secure election. So apparently it was voted on before, and now it has to be implemented. I don't know. They make it as confusing as possible. Hopefully we will detach from it. But for some reason, Speaker of the House and a bunch of Republicans just spoke about it this morning. It will be voted on again. Kamala's already positioning herself that they're going to do a veto on it. So we got to watch our government go through the motions and bungle the whole thing up before we, acknowledge, yep, there is a knife in our back right now. Illegals will be voting. They're not going to solve this problem because this is a problem that we want solved, and they will not solve this problem for us. So, okay, so the Senate's got to pass it. The House passed it. Okay, thank you, Cleo. I get so confused on this stuff, man. It has not become law. And Cleo, isn't it attached to the budget somehow this time? It's become part of the budget passing that, because if they don't pass it, if the Senate says we're not going to pass the SAVE Act, somehow or another, it means the government is shut down. And so I assumed that meant it's attached to the budget somehow. I only got so many hours in a day to try to sort out what they're doing to us, Hence the need for Second Amendment. Hey, Smalley, I like your input. Okay, it is sitting in the Senate. Senate won't bring it to the floor for a vote. What's up with that? Okay, Congress passed the SAVE Act on a bipartisan basis back in July. So the House passed it then. So in order for something to become law, the Senate now has to vote on it. So whatever's going on, they're bungling it up. They're getting ready to clear the election again. We're going to watch it like a hawk. Trump's going to win it again. If they can cheat enough, it'll look like Kamala won. If they can't cheat it enough, Trump will win it. And Congress will shut it down on January 6th next year, like we wanted them to do last year, or last election. It's a clown show. It's so predictable, too. All right. Moving on to some news here. So Kamala's just losing it, okay? She's done one interview since she got the nomination, which not one single voter voted for her. Not one. Okay? Not one. She's their nominee somehow. She's totally dropping the ball. She can't talk. Every aspect of being a president, she has none of the attributes of being a president. She's going to get decimated. She's going to just get annihilated in this debate tonight, no doubt about it. What are they going to do with Kamala? Okay? What will they do with Kamala? Who's next? Who's the next one they're going to put in there? Now, what they're doing, I think, is they're shuffling it up on Trump. Trump spent how many months fighting FJB on the presidential race? While he's fighting these corrupt court charges that they keep throwing at him, he's fighting FJB. He spent $100 million, he said, fighting FJB over the presidential issues that will be coming up in the election, man. So now he's fighting Kamala. And it's so obvious. What could she possibly do tonight that's going to change the fact that Trump is 10, 20 points ahead of her in battleground states? What could she possibly do tonight? Other than, like, wear a thong bikini or something, you know? That's the only trick she's got up her sleeve. So, who's next? What are they going to do? What are they going to do with Kamala? This is where we got to be, like, really, I'd be worried, you know? Right now, Secret Service protection isn't very, it isn't very good, you know? So is there going to be a oopsie moment with Kamala? And they're going to pin it on a MAGA person? Or what? You know, we got to be heads up for any trick in the book that they're going to try to pull. They're trying to pull pandemics on us again. You know, we've had, in the last 6 months, the monkeypox scare. People are getting COVID again. You know, like, especially like elected people that are in trouble. All of a sudden they come down with COVID, so they can't testify and stuff. There's the H1N1, the bird flu's coming back. They're trying to fly another pandemic, but it just ain't, none of it sticks to the wall anymore because they overplayed it the last time. What are they going to do with Kamala? Who's next? That's my big, we got to come up with a bingo card just for that issue right there. Who's next and what's going to happen to Kamala? We got the Democrats fighting against Democrats with RFK. RFK joined Trump, as we all know. He tried to take himself off of the ballots, you know. So first of all, Colorado, Maine, a couple of states were trying to keep Trump off the ballot. Really, they lost all those cases. Trump is on the ballot. Then RFK was scrambling, trying to get on all the ballots as an independent because the Democrat Party wouldn't let him in the primaries. So then the Democrat Party was fighting all these states to say, no, you can't let RFK on the ballot. You can't let him do it. He's got to sign 100,000 signatures, and these 3 signatures are the same ones, and he didn't qualify. And they tried to keep him off the ballot for months. RFK switches to Trump team, and now all of a sudden he says, I want off the ballots. I don't want to be on the ballots. And all of a sudden the same states are going, no, you can't get off the ballot now. You can't. You have to stay on the ballot. And that's exactly what's happening, man. All right. So hopefully this is playing out before all the zombies. Hopefully some of those noodles stick to the wall in our brains and they see what's going on. This mockery of our law and order system, man. And the Michigan Supreme Court finally ruled in Michigan, RFK can't get himself off the ballot. So he is involuntarily on the ballot in Michigan because their Supreme Court said so. So once again, we got a Supreme Court in a state running elections. Same thing Pennsylvania did in 2020, man. Our Supreme Court changed the law illegally because our representatives are supposed to make the laws pertaining to elections. But now we got the Supreme Court making law in the states. That is totally illegal, and that only happens when you got a compromised, corrupt court. You don't think Supreme Court justices know the law? You don't think they know they're breaking the law by saying you got to institute mail-in balloting because there's an epidemic right now? They're not allowed to do that. They're not allowed to do that. Whether there's an epidemic, there's no amendment in the Constitution that says the legislature sets the laws for elections unless there's a pandemic. There's nothing like that in the Constitution. But our Supreme Court changed the law illegally. These are legal experts, and hell's coming for them, you know. Justice will be served. We want our justice system to be the pinnacle of the world, and it will be. And that requires we take corrupt judges out of their seats. We got a bunch of Republicans like signing up now. Like since Trump got a couple Democrats, now the Republicans got to do the same play. They got to copycat the actions. So they needed a couple of Republicans to come to the Kamala camp, right? And Dick Cheney and Liz Cheney decided they're going to vote for Kamala. Oh, and Arnold Schwarzenegger, he's a Republican too, right? He says he's voting for Kamala. So they don't have an original play. They don't have no creativity. They just look at what Trump does, what works, and then they try to do it again, you know. But I got to say, one thing that they are totally lacking on is social media right now. They are totally losing the younger generation. The Democrats are. They are totally losing the younger generation. They don't watch CNN. They don't watch TV at all. They hate it. They think it's dumb. They know how much propaganda there is on television. So they get all their stuff from social media, from influencers, from, movie stars and rock stars and stuff, right? They all got podcasts and stuff. And that is where Trump is just smoking the competition on that. Kamala did one interview with the TV chick, Dana Bash or whatever her name is. Trump has done over almost 40 interviews with influencers on social media that have multi-million followers on their medias. So he's just smoking that. He's they're in on the meme team thing now. And when you look up like lefty ads that are trying to get you to hate Trump, they are so stupid. It's like some ranting person with plugs in their ears and their tongue is pierced. You could hardly understand what they're talking about with funny hair, telling about how they heard of some lady who had to give birth to a dead baby because she lived in a state that didn't allow abortion. Totally just horrible, horribly produced segments of video they're making their people watch in order to, come to their side. Whereas Trump has got like people like Cat Turd, people like the Dilly Meme Team putting out these freaking awesome video shorts and stuff every single day, a new one. And one of the new ones was one of these. This is something I wanted to show you guys, man. The new one is these people in Haiti are. I gotta load them up now. So we've heard about this town called Springfield, Ohio, and we found out that like it's a town of 60,000 people or so, and somehow or another, like a highly concentrated population of illegal Haitian immigrants has come into this town. And it's just been reported on a couple of days ago that like the geese and the ducks are disappearing from their parks, and certain people are seeing the Haitians like grabbing a duck and cutting its head off, and they're literally leaving all the heads laying at a certain spot near the elementary school. All right, so I'm going to get into this in here in a second. And like there's stories of people's dogs got abducted, and missing house pets and stuff like that. So for the last like 3 days, there's this new AI gimmicky thing called Grok, where you can ask Grok to make you a picture. And you just say, Grok, make me a picture of Trump rescuing a duck. Okay? And it is coming up with the funniest, unbelievable stuff in the world. I'm just going to flash a couple of these for you. So this has become an issue. All of a sudden, for some reason, Springfield, Ohio, which, by the way, happens to be the same town the Simpsons live in. We're coming up with a lot of images like this, man. Trump. So you go, Grok, make me a picture of Trump as a Green Beret guy rescuing a cat and a duck. And then Grok will just make this picture in like 10 seconds, okay? And it's like a really high quality, good picture, man. Isn't that hilarious, though? So there is just a slew of these out here right now. I'm going to breeze through these kind of quick. Where now we got like Cat Turd is saying, save me, vote Trump, And here we got a cat saying, rallying for Trump so they don't get eaten. Ducks for Trump. This is Cat Turd is a social influencer. It's a white cat with glasses on. It's some Texas guy, but that's his logo. So here we got Trump. Grok, make me a picture of Trump rescuing Cat Turd from hungry cannibals. And this is what Grok will give you. I don't know if you guys seen these yet, but these are hilarious. The left has nothing like this, man. Okay, here, this is something that Elon Musk posted on X, and this is something that the House Judiciary GOP put out on their website. Elon picked it up and reposted it on his site. So this is everywhere right now. Grok, make me a picture of Trump rescuing a duck and a kitty cat from a flood. It's called Grok. Grok. I don't know how you get it or if it's an app or what. But I was watching some people, I think Benny Johnson. I was watching Benny Johnson play with it. Yeah, X is filled with them, right? Swalwell lost his mind. Yeah, Grok. Grok. Bonnie. There's another one. So yes, my news feed has been flooded with these for the last 2 or 3 days now. And then we got like cat ladies for Trump that help elect Trump so they won't get my cats. We had a bunch of people in the chat last night that are saying, my cat will fight back. My cat's voting for Trump and stuff like that. But I just think these things are hilarious, man. Here's another one with headhunters behind them. I think they're great. I got 1 or 2 more here. Please save us, Trump. The sad-eyed doggy. Vote for Trump. Save us, Trump. The little cute ducky. I think it's just hilarious. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Here's another little meme I thought was pretty cool. Here's our founding fathers figuring out what to write in the Constitution. Hey, wait, so people can say whatever they want? Yeah. Oh, let's give them guns. Laugh my ass off. This country's gonna be lit. That's right, this country is lit. That's for sure. I got so many memes now that I just gotta just show you a couple of them. I like this one. Trump is going to recruit Elon. He's recommending that Elon sit on some type of a board to increase the efficiency of government, okay? So they're calling this the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE. And here's Elon. Grok, make me a picture of Elon Musk as a gladiator outside the walls of the Roman Colosseum. And that's the picture it'll generate for you. And we know that Elon has been talking for the last 2 years about the woke mind virus. He thinks this is almost like a medical condition. Trump derangement syndrome has like a medical thing to it. So they want to find a cure for it. There's a reason. It's an imbalance or something. That's the reason these people can't think straight. They're watching their country go to hell and supporting it and helping the people that are doing it. And Elon Musk calls that the woke mind virus. We call it Trump derangement syndrome. And Elon Musk said, here he is posting it himself. I will destroy the woke mind virus. Oh yeah, and here's the woke left. They hated Dick Cheney until 4 days ago, okay? Now they're all saying, yeah, Dick Cheney is now a good guy. Yeah, there you go. Elon's got like 12 kids, doesn't he? The debate I heard is at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard. Right, that's race. Thank you. Okay, so let's get rid of these here. So all that comes down to another thing I wanted to talk about real briefly here is Haiti, okay? Bill Clinton wrote a book, and in that book, he was describing his honeymoon that he took, and he decided to go to Haiti for his honeymoon, right? And the one event that he said made the most impression on him out of that whole honeymoon was was being made aware of voodoo and black magic. Okay, bizarre. You just marry your hot wife, Hillary. You go to Haiti for a honeymoon, and the thing that stuck in your brain the most about that whole event, that whole part of your life, is the exposure that you just had to voodoo. And apparently they watched some stuff. He describes it in that book that he wrote a long time ago. He wasn't even the Attorney General yet of Arkansas. And apparently they have traveled to Haiti many, many times, okay? Now, this is why this whole Haiti thing is coming up in the news again. Because what this whole thing is a battle of good and evil. A spiritual battle between light and darkness is happening right now. It ain't just J6ers in a rigged election. This is spiritual darkness that we are battling every day here. Spiritual darkness, voodoo and black magic is not light. That is spiritual darkness, wickedness in high places. They have powers. They have rulers. They have minions that serve them. They have ways of appeasing their rulers. And black magic and voodoo is one of them. Whether you want to agree with me or not on this, this stuff's been around for thousands of years. It's very well documented. In the Bible, they call it Moloch and Baal worship. They had like idols, voodoo dolls or idol. They had physical little representations of the spiritual powers that they were worshiping. And Hillary and Bill went to Haiti a bunch of times, man. Got all wound up in this voodoo thing, okay? Mainstream media here has not reported on this. There's a guy named Scotty Martin on Rumble, and he just put out a real nice little 9-minute video that pretty much sums everything up I'm about to tell you here. Mainstream media didn't report on the visits that Bill and Hillary made to Haiti. But local Haitian newspapers did, okay? And they're way more aware of the geography of Haiti. There are like voodoo hotspots in Haiti, and there's black magic hotspots in Haiti where the people believe in the black magic more than the voodoo. The voodoo is pretty much kind of benign. You stick pins in dolls, literally, that is voodoo. But the black magic thing is, cut a head of a chicken off and ring it around your head 3 times and say a prayer to Satan, or whatever you want to call them, down to literally sacrificing human beings and drinking blood and eating flesh and things like that in order to appease your God there. Bill and Hillary visited those places, and then Haitian newspapers reported on it while they were down there. Bill Clinton then went on to win the Attorney General position in Arkansas. Then he won the governor position in Arkansas. Then he won the presidency of the United States. And there is an argument that can be made that he used black magic and voodoo to do that. And one thing that kind of makes it all seem even weirder is when Haiti went through that earthquake, hurricane in the same year thing, okay? Rather than the government of the United States sending FEMA down there, or the military, or some government agency down there, they sent the Clinton Foundation down there. And I remember them doing this. They told Americans, if you want to help the aid in Haiti, send money to the Clinton Foundation. They will orchestrate the rescue maneuvers for everybody down there. Good-hearted Americans donated over $1 billion to the Clinton Foundation. Most of that money disappeared. There have been reviews that certain people have made to try to figure out where did $1 billion go. Because you go to Haiti and it's still a shithole, okay? Just last year they were calling some guy warmongers were running the gangs in the streets. The government totally broke down, and they're trying to figure out where did all this money go. It didn't go to help the Haitian people. So somehow or another, the Clinton Foundation absorbed all this money, and money can be used to corrupt people. It can be used to buy influence. And so we know the money didn't go to Haiti. And furthermore, there was a child smuggling ring that got exposed in Haiti by church people that were working for the Hillary and Bill Clinton Foundation. So this Haiti thing runs deep, okay? When you combine that information with what's going on in Springfield, Ohio right now, and then you combine that with this information that the Kamala Harris, the Biden-Harris administration flew in 100,000 Haitians into this country. They didn't make them march across the border. They flew in 100,000 that we know of Haitians because they're particularly barbecue. Barbecue is the name of the gang leader down in Haiti and because he ate babies, okay? That's why they called him barbecue. He ate people. He barbecued them up and ate them. That's black magic and voodoo down there in Haiti. That's one of the bigger warlords that's down there right now. So you combine that with that information that the Biden-Harris administration escorted in 100,000 Haitians, purposely put 10,000 of them in this little town of Springfield, Ohio. Next thing you know, pets are disappearing. Animals are disappearing. The heads are showing up. Certain people are watching them eat these things. The heads are showing up, I'm told, at a school. So there's a way to do black magic. You cut something up, you leave pieces of it laying around. I don't know all the stuff, how exactly it works, but these are the things that they do. They've been doing it to you down at the Freedom Corner the whole time. We're protected. It doesn't work on us. But if we can be heads up and see that, that's what's happening, we got to make sure that we are protected from that, okay? It is pretty sick. It is pretty sick. And right now, it's pets and ducks from the city park that are disappearing. Then, just yesterday, a Haitian immigrant escorted in by the Biden-Harris administration was killed. An 11-year-old boy was killed by a Haitian immigrant. So now the children are starting to disappear. So this better be getting real for you people who are not awake yet. Heads on a swivel. If you got grandkids, this is going to escalate. We're protected. Put your faith in God. There is nothing to fear, okay? As long as you put your faith where it belongs, in God above, the one true God. So I think I rambled enough here. There's just too many coincidences with the Clintons, Haiti, voodoo, black magic, and this Springfield, Ohio story that's breaking loose right now. And we got that type of story. The Springfield, Ohio story is breaking out in Aurora, Colorado, in California, in other areas of Colorado. It's happening all over the place. And the mainstream media is squelching these stories. You're not going to see it on NBC. This is all on social media. We got to scrutinize, make sure people aren't making up stories and stuff. We got to get live streamers on the ground to verify all this stuff. But so far, Aurora has been verified. California thing with the Venezuelans taking over a hotel out there has been verified. Let's verify this Ohio thing and head on a swivel. Once again, it's all about the cloud pivot strategy. Bombard you with such unbelievable stuff in your brain to get you to shut down. Don't shut down. Put your faith in God. Remain strong, stand tall, get loud. And then one more positive note here. You ever watch a Super Bowl where, or a football game, any game where one team is winning to within 10 minutes of the end of the game, right? And then all of a sudden, the other team gets a field goal. And then they get another one. And then they get another one and another one, right? There's a surge. It's called the surge. And you look at like the NFL teams, they may have a lot of wins, but if they didn't get all them wins towards the end of the season, they're not surging when it's time to surge for the Super Bowl, right? So there has to be a surge right at the end to pretty much guarantee a victory. And that is exactly what I'm seeing out of the Trump team right now. They are surging. They are firing on all cylinders right now. They got the memes. They got the social media wound up. They got an ineffective, weak, pathetic opponent now. They are dominating on the news coverage of everything that's happening. They're in it, man. They're surging right at the end. We just got to make sure that continues to happen all the way to Election Day. And even then, it ain't over then, because there's still tricks that the other side can play at that time. So we're every day is training for tomorrow. We're getting smarter. We're getting wiser as this whole thing proceeds. Let's learn our lessons here. Let's take our licks. God will rebuke a son he beloves. Take your licks from God. Ask for repentance when you find yourself screwing up, and he will forgive you, and he will pull you in under his wings, man. That is for sure. So I like what I'm seeing out of the Trump team. It does look very encouraging what's going on, but we're looking at some pretty heinous stuff happening all around us. We're surrounded. We've all taken massive hits on every direction. Massive losses with deaths and sicknesses and financial ruin and jail terms and stuff like that. But Patriots, we're in this battle together. God has brought us together. We didn't know why, but here we are. Every day we're learning something new, and we will wake up tomorrow and do it all over again, as long as God has given us the courage and the willpower to do that. And we look to him to provide us with that. So Patriots, God bless you for hanging out with me. Let me ramble on for this long. I've been corking all this stuff up for a week here. I just wasn't well enough to talk for an hour and a half. So God bless you for following along. I'll see you out at the corner in about 20 minutes. It looks like they all fired up their streams there at Freedom Corner. Love you, Patriots. This is Jericho. Over and out.